Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. I'm Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I'm a spiritual medium and intuitive reader, your guide to a clearer perspective. I have a high vibration message for Sagittarius. This is one that is channeled from my guides and from spirit for your benefit as you journey on your spiritual path this week. So Sagittarius, I think I'm going to start with the end and give you the overall message, which is you need to protect your ideas. You need to protect your intellectual property. So let me jump in with the cards and we'll develop this story as we go. We have the Lady of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, for the energy presented by the universe this week. This is that you have absolutely everything you need, and that when you are in that energy of self-fulfillment, self-containment, you really have everything. There's nothing else that you need from anyone or anything else. You are completely well set up and well grounded. And noticing all this light. There must be something in the lighting. Can you see all this lovely light that's coming in? It's like you're cradled and caressed in that divine light. So when you allow yourself to be embraced by that, there is nothing else that you need. We have got the Lady for the card that comes next. This represents the way you respond to this energy. And this card is so fascinating because there's a connection, there's an interconnectedness. Every part of her body is touching something else, and she is very much part of the landscape. But the thing with this card, that the feeling I'm getting for you, is that there's a sense of duty or obligation that somehow you feel you also need to be this source of beneficence in other people's lives. It's almost like, because the universe has gifted you with this, with that total self-containment, with everything you need, you feel like you have to be that for other people. Like you have to give and be Earth Mother and nurture and nourish and give and share and share and share. And so it's like whatever good things come to you, you immediately want to give away and try to benefit everyone else. And remember, we talked about intellectual property. So this means that this is showing kind of the earthly tendency to do what you do, which is immediately to share and give out your ideas. And for some reason, they're asking you to sit tight on them a little bit, to hold on to it a bit more. So let's see if we can get a little bit more reason why. We've got the Three of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, Three of Cups, Six of Wands, and then we've got the Prince of Wands. So interesting, guys, because we've got the three, the Lady was here, also a 3 card, and then 6 and 9 are the same thing upside down. So I need like another arm to hold the cards, and excuse me for a second, we dropped the 6 of Wands. So I wish I was an octopus. This Three of Cups is talking about a community of people that are very much like-minded, that think the same. And it's not necessarily that this community is antagonistic to you. It's just that you're not kind of part of it. The ideas are smaller. They're more insular. They're more self-contained. There's an intimacy feeling in this card, how they're all kind of just gathered around this little space. But then I look at you, and this is you. You're out there riding a horse. So we've got the 6 of Wands, and then we've also got this guy charging away on his pony, the Prince of Wands. So again, it's not that you're fighting this group. It's just you're outside and they're inside. They're contained like this, and you're expansive. So this is part of the reason why you feel like you need to, it's this group that you're trying to feed. You're thinking that you need to nourish this group, and you're responsible for their welfare and their benefit. And the universe is trying to say to you, no, not really. You don't need to do that. So let's go here. We've got the 6 of Wands, which is some kind of harvest or reaping some kind of, how do you guys want me to put this? This is the intellectual property we're talking about. This is the recognition of your value, thoughts that belong to you, ideas that belong to you. And like we talked about the reflection, so he's reflecting in the water, and so his image is upside down. When we turn the 6 upside down, we get the 9. So these ideas are coming out of your own self-reflection. They're coming from your own conclusions that you've drawn on your own path, and they're there for you to go questing and exploring and to learn more and to go places that you haven't gone before. But the thing is, it's a very self-oriented journey. See how there's no one else here? And he's the leader. All of these are just collecting, all right? But the idea is that the will, the joy of discovery and exploration, you go out on your own to develop these ideas and to keep them coming. It's not really your job to try to work with and uplift this community here through the application of ideas. There's other things you can do, you know, just being there, just being your presence, just kind of smiling and waiting to be waiting for someone to ask your advice. But you don't have to feel like your job is to uplift and nourish this community. That is pulling you away from the development of your heart's desire, of your passion, really. So it's really enjoying this quest to figure out more, to find out more, and to not get kind of stuck with trying to reflect it back to others so that they understand too. Because what I think you're going to find is that the ideas or the intellectual property that you've developed up to a certain point, it's at a good place, but it's not done. So there's a little bit of a complacency with this card here. He's kind of, you know, he's well set up, he's well situated. And there's hawks on both our 6 and 9 card. We've got the hawk twice. So that idea of divine connection, but they're telling me I'm getting off. So let me ignore the hawks for a second. So, you know, he thinks that this is all, this is everything, but this one is, I want to know more and I want to learn. This is actually the quintessential Sagittarius energy, that quest for knowledge, that heart-led quest for knowledge. That is really the essence of this card. And that's what you're about. You're not about grabbing onto a conclusion in the middle of the evolution of that idea. You're about following and finding that the full culmination, the full development, the full growth of that idea. And I think the idea also is that it's almost never done. Like if you love to quest, the last thing you want is for that journey to end. When you decide that you have to suddenly start sharing this with others in order to nourish them, in order to make them more abundant, in order to take responsibility for their own nourishment, you actually cut off that development process. So this is about really tapping into your joy in collecting information, in developing that intellectual property, in really expanding your mind and enjoying that quest and going on that quest. And understanding that you don't have to come back and teach. You don't, I know it might give you joy, but what I'm saying is that that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it because you love to find knowledge. And if you're given the opportunity to teach along the way, if somebody asks for help, if somebody asks for advice, then yes, share what you know, but that's not why he's on the horse. He's not on the horse to teach. He's on the horse to seek. And that is the essence of your joy, because once we get an ending, the joy is done. When you're on the journey, that is the source of your immense joy. So I hope this has given you some things to think about. If you've got some questions or you want to leave a comment, I always do love to hear from you. And I do have a question. I'm kind of mulling this over if you would be interested or find this idea compelling to have a special kind of love reading for next weekend, for the Valentine's Day weekend. This is not about like predictive as to, speak English here. I'm not talking about predicting the outcome of a relationship. I'm mostly talking about our relationship to love. What do we do to let love in? What do we do to block it? And that can happen whether you are single or in a relationship. So let me know if that sounds interesting to you. Otherwise, I do invite you to check out trueguidancetarot.com for other offerings, and I will look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good one.